Hi, I'm Mark Perna, and this is the next step in our career tree training series, so let's jump right in. The first thing we have to understand is that we are not in the education business. We are in the competitive advantage business. We're not just teaching knowledge, but how young people can leverage that knowledge to thrive in the real world. That's a true competitive advantage, and it's exactly what you're delivering when you frame your instruction and narrative through the career tree. There are three critical components that go into a competitive advantage, and young people today have to have all three. The first of these is robust academic knowledge. Well, this seems pretty obvious, right? I mean, it's absolutely needed today as it was in the past. That hasn't changed. But here's what has. It used to be that if you had robust academic knowledge alone, you could do pretty well for yourself. In fact, the more academic knowledge you had, the more money you could make. Well, here's where the world has changed. That is no longer necessarily true. It's not necessarily untrue, it's just not necessarily true either. There are now two critical things you have to add to that robust academic knowledge in order to build a competitive advantage. The first of these is technical competency. These are the things that you can do in your head and with your hands, right? So whether you want to be a surgeon or an accountant, whether you want to be a programmer or a chef, whether you want to be in auto technology or biotechnology, these are the abilities needed to execute those tasks. And then the third component, and probably the most important, is professional skills. These are the things like work ethic, punctuality, leadership, communication, work-life balance, stress management, critical thinking, problem solving, emotional intelligence, flexibility, networking, and more. I could add to the list. You could add to the list. Most people in America call these things soft skills. I started calling them professional skills about a decade ago because I think the term soft skills makes them sound unimportant when really they're the darn near most important things that we can give young people today. The Wall Street Journal would agree. According to a study they did, 92% of business leaders across America value professional skills over both academic knowledge and technical competency. 89% said professional skills are the hardest things for them to find. Our students have to have these things if they're going to thrive out there. And that's why the career tree focuses on all three components of a competitive advantage. The career tree improves academic performance because the learners see a lifestyle goal at the end of their tunnel so that they're motivated to do the studying and work to get there. The career tree improves technical competency because, again, they're looking at the career they want, and so they need to develop the hard skills to perform it. Finally, the career tree also helps build professional skills by bringing those types of traits into focus during the ongoing classroom dialogue. It all adds up to what I call a planning culture. This is an environment that encourages individuals to set a goal or destination, plan to reach that goal through a myriad of pathways, opportunities, and research, and continually calibrate the goal and plan to hone their purpose and subsequent action. The sheer power of talking about planning, demonstrating planning, and praising planning benefits for everyone as the process of planning becomes cool, even sought after. The career tree plays a critical role in helping organizations create a planning culture that empowers young people to figure out not just their educational and career direction, but also the competitive advantage they need to get there. So what makes young people excited to start building this kind of advantage in their lives? One word: purpose. Several years back, I started using the phrase education with purpose, and it was really resonating with people, so I went to Google and searched it. Guess what came up? Nothing. Not a thing. So I went to the United States Government Patent Office and applied for the trademark for that phrase, and guess what? They gave it to me. I don't know about you, but I was actually appalled that somehow we have forgotten to add purpose to education in America. Of course, it's not what you may think, right? Like, yes, of course, we know education has purpose. I'm not talking about education with purpose from our perspective as parents, teachers, and stakeholders, but rather purpose from the perspective of the learner. The learner has to understand and buy into the purpose. Because if the learner doesn't understand the purpose of why they would invest themselves and make all that effort to move forward to the light at the end of their tunnel, they won't do the work. This all goes back to Gen Z being the Y generation. WHY generation. If they don't see the reason why they should put in the work, many of them just won't. You see, we all live in two modes: active purpose and static purpose. And students are no different. In their lives, static purpose mode means they're standing still in the tunnel of their education. They're just not moving forward. They could be stuck in static purpose for a variety of reasons. Maybe they're apathetic. Maybe they've experienced some kind of trauma. Maybe they're dealing with social and emotional issues. Maybe they're scared to fail or make a mistake. Maybe they just don't see a light at the end of the tunnel that would give them a reason to move forward. Some students are stuck because they see education as just another one of their problems. What they need most is a fresh perspective where they see that far from being their problem, education can actually become their solution. This is where the career tree is so powerful. Of course, we know education is the solution, but they have to see education as a solution for themselves. Purpose is the secret to getting young people to view their education that way. When they see the reason why, they can switch to active purpose and start thriving in their education rather than just surviving it. Young people operating in active purpose are taking steps toward their goals. Maybe the steps are small. Maybe there are setbacks and directional changes and other obstacles to overcome, but the point is that they're moving forward. They're active. Students, and really all of us, can switch back and forth between static purpose and active purpose every day. What matters is which mode we spend most of our time in. We foster active purpose in students by using the career tree to show them a light at the end of their tunnel that will motivate them to move forward, to get to that point. Being in static purpose is one of the biggest reasons why young people stand still in the tunnel. They just don't see the connection between what they want and what we're asking them to do. As an ongoing conversation, the career tree changes all that because it adds relevance and purpose to every piece of education. They can actually visualize how their education today adds to their competitive advantage to reach their light at the end of their tunnel. While it's absolutely critical for students to see a purpose in their education that matters to them, education with purpose is only half the picture. The other half is where that purpose ultimately culminates in employment with passion. Purpose leads to passion. Employees who are passionate about what they do are every employer's dream. Imagine a workforce where commitment, loyalty, enthusiasm, and innovation are the norm, not the exception. Imagine finding the right people for the right positions for the right reasons. It's a beautiful picture, and yes, it's possible in your organization and community. Purposeful students who will someday become passionate employees can't be manufactured, but they can be fostered. We do this by prioritizing the biggest factor in their life and career decisions, and it's not the choice of career, it's the choice of lifestyle that drives their path forward. Education with purpose and employment with passion are two sides of the same coin, and we need them both. It's how we build bridges, create pipelines, and connect the dots between school and work. Every young person deserves a rewarding education and career journey. And with the learner-driven purpose that is built into the career tree, you can help make that happen.